of going from one documentary to another. We had the finale of the Chicago Bulls Last Dance, episodes 9 and 10. Those aired on Sunday, and this was obviously the end of the very popular docu series, which has been chronicling basically Michael Jordan's Bulls, basically from their inception to the very end. Um, and from episodes 9 and 10, it was just basically just focusing on the '98 season, um, just like how going through the Eastern Conference Finals, and then obviously with the NBA Finals, they really dove into just how intense things were between the Indiana Pacers and the Chicago Bulls, Reggie Miller versus Michael Jordan. Um, like and they time skipped, I think, to like '92 or '93 when Reggie first got into the NBA, and he when he first went up against MJ, and he like from that first game that he played him, and after MJ just went insane in the second half, and basically Reggie had a pretty crappy second half. He dubbed him the name he dubbed him the name Black Jesus after that on the basketball court. So you could just tell, like, just a certain amount of fear that MJ even back then just put into guys. Like, it's just, he was
Yeah.
just a really hard guy to go against. And we also found out from the infamous flu game that he was actually it was actually food poisoning.
The
That
the pizza people,
Yeah, from the
allegedly.
crazy pizza, yeah, from the crazy pizza people, allegedly in Utah. Um, we also got some really good insight in, into him, Steve Kerr, because for me, Matt, I had no idea about his father,
Oh yeah,
and
me either.
him dying just that tragically. Um, as you said, like he was a professor, I believe, at UCLA. I believe, and like he was
Yeah,
doing,
originally, yeah.
and then he was over. Where was he over when he died?
Oh, Jesus. Was it
It's in the Middle East, right?
Lebanon? Lebanon? I want to say
Yeah, yeah,
Lebanon.
somewhere. Yeah, okay, yes, somewhere like that. But
Yeah.
but supposedly he was shot in the head while he was making a phone call back over to
Was it?
the states.
Was it? When he was coming out of an elevator,
Yeah,
something. Yeah.
or something like
Yeah.
that. But he was just shot in the head. It was a pretty big international incident too. From what they said here, and it just and like they like were focusing on how like Steve Kerr and like MJ never really talked up about their dads or anything, even though that's probably something that they could have them bonded over. But it would just like it would obviously be pretty hard to talk about that. But they like really talked about basically how with them Steve and like Michael, how their relationship just continuously evolved over time, to the point where Steve earned MJ's respect, because man, especially in that final season, he hit a ton of really big shots
Yeah.
for that team. Like, it just seemed like whenever they really needed a big time basket, he always got a big time basket there. And I'm sure just like that just boosted that just boosted Michael's confidence in Steve Kerr, because that could not be understated. And another thing that I felt was pretty touching too, Matt, was MJ's relationship with his security guards, more specifically Gus Led, who was basically there from the very beginning, who was essentially a father figure to him, especially when MJ's father died tragically. Like he would like call Gus in the middle of the night, even just to talk to him. So like we saw more of the human side of Von Michael definitely with these last few episodes, and just how hard that he was struggling with the pressure and everything. But even going through when they were going through the playoff series, it was just funny. Like just the trash talk that was happening, it was hilarious. But Matt, probably the most funniest thing of all though was when Dennis Rodman, after Game 3 in the finals, goes to WCW Nitro with the NWO. And in case you kids did not forget, NWO is for life. So like it was just funny because he got so much criticism Robin for basically just skipping out on practice and just hell, hey, let's go down to WCW Nitro and and hang out with the NWO.
And the interesting thing is, I saw Mark Madison on Twitter, is
Yeah.
that apparently they showed that clip of Marlone and Rodman getting in that tussle, and then apparently that was staged and planned by WCW. I don't know, Bischoff, to get interest in it. So,
which
I believe, I don't doubt that. So WCW had a hand in the finals, which is hilarious.
Yeah, man.
And see, that's how I missed. I came late to the wrestling boom there, so this was before I became a fan. I never knew this was during the finals. At least,
yeah.
Unless I forgot about it, I really didn't know. I knew he was there, obviously, but I didn't know it was during the finals, which makes it even all the better.
It was freaking hilarious, which which is why it was such a huge mainstream story at the time. But with him, Dennis, he was just such a freaking rebel man who just essentially did what you want. But obviously with episode 10, they really chronicled the NBA finals there. And just like you could just tell with the Bulls, they were essentially on their final legs. Scottie Pippen was really banged up. Like he had a really bad back injury in Game 6 to where he was hobbling up and down the floor there. But they did it, man. Michael Jordan hits that insane game clinching shot, Game 6, which has been played over and over again for. I mean, like I probably have seen that about 10 million times, but it's just it was just incredible. And then obviously they chronicled of basically of the Bulls splitting up. But something I didn't know, that supposedly that the owner was going to go over Jerry Krause's head and bring everyone back. But the problem was from a finance standpoint, from what he said, that he couldn't bring everyone back. Which if you ask MJ that, he says
he gives that classic laugh.
Yeah, he just finds that really hysterical because he was always under the impression, hey, we will all sign 1 year deals and try to get it again, which would have been interesting because in the 99 season, that was a strike shortened season, which honestly might have played in the Bulls' hands just because shorter games, less tear on the body as for that season, but what actually ended up happening. Scotty, I believe he got traded. Dennis Rodman, he got released. Steve Kerr, I believe he got traded. Obviously, MJ retired. Um, Phil Phil stepped down or just didn't or just decided not to resign. He would eventually become the head coach of the of the LA Lakers in '99, I believe. So yeah, and that was essentially it. And I would say this was definitely ESPN's best documentary ever. Just the behind the scenes looks, just how it was, just all of the interviews that they got was just really interesting and quite honestly something that hadn't really been done before. So yeah, Matt, any final thoughts or final takeaways from the doc there?
It probably one of the best documentaries, sports documentaries I've seen. At the very least, what ESPN has produced. Um, so that was fun to watch. I know we got the and we'll probably transition into this. We got the Last Ride, the Undertaker one, which is another fantastic one. Probably
Which
the
is
best.
very similar style wise
Yeah,
to the Last Dance.
right, which is great. And then and I know to a lesser extent we have a Tiger Woods documentary on this Sunday coming up, I believe, on the
Mm-hmm.
Golf Channel, talking about Tiger.
Oh, I'm not sure.
So I'm interested in watching that.
Supposedly ESPN is doing, which is coming in 2021, a like 9-part series on Tom Brady.
I
Which is
think I did
coming
see that.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah, so supposedly that's happening. I think that we're going to be seeing that. We're probably are definitely going to be seeing something on Kobe Bryant, which I believe he basically let people behind the scenes for his final season because supposedly when MJ announced in 2016 that he was essentially going to be doing a documentary on this, Kobe at the time was like, hey, I'm going to also do something. So so we're probably are going to be getting that at some point, and man, that's going to be hard to sit there because Kobe was one of the more recognizable athletes in in my in my generation because pretty much when I got into sports, which was in '98 or '99, MJ was essentially out. Um, when I started getting into that, but one of the basketball players who I gravitated towards too was Shaq and Kobe. So it's like that's going to be hard for a lot of people, for sure. But
Yep.
um, I'm all for about these sports documentaries. So keep them coming.